podcast.
Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into the Sports Buffoons. My name's Tanner Dawson. Joined with me across the way is none other than Mr. JG himself. JG,
What's up, guys?
What's up? Happy Friday night.
Happy Friday to you, sir.
Man.
How's your day been so far?
You know, not bad for a Friday, I must say. Did a lot of hard work during the week, so it was a lot of no meetings for once, and did some other back end work that I needed to do. So, not bad for a Friday.
I just got back from Texas a few days ago, and we always talk about how shitty those drivers are down there because they're ranked the worst out of all 50 states. Texas has the worst drivers in the United States, and it went pretty well for me this time. I went down there to the WinStar Casino, made some money. The drivers were pretty good. Meanwhile, I come back here, and I'm driving back from the casino to come to the show tonight, and I've realized that it's been a while since I've been driving on a Friday night in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And the drunks were out in full force, and they were doing a lot of stupid things. But then I looked up at the scout sign, and it said, drive sober or get pulled over, and that made me feel safe because I'm sure that all those drunk fucks that are just driving around hammered, I'm sure they're looking at that sign, and then they're going to stop drinking right after.
It makes them think, dude.
Sign.
It makes them think, like, maybe I shouldn't.
I felt a little bit of peace, but not really. Like, they're crazy fucking drivers out tonight. So be careful on the roads, guys.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is a Friday night. I am fully aware of this situation here. Brace with us. We've been a little in and out the last couple of weeks between all of us. So we are back at it. No Mike today. Feeling a little still under the weather. And hopefully this weekend is the push through, and he can get back at it for us next week here. But we got his easy money bets. We'll make sure we get that in the play. But we got a great show lined up. We're gonna resolve the Royal season right now. We're gonna talk about our feelings and how we felt in the end of that series. We're gonna talk a little, of course, Chiefs. We got lots to talk about Chiefs and our easy money bet. Maybe a little something extra in between, but we'll see what time brings us. So, Jason, let's just get into it, man. Let's just get out of the way. The Royals ended up losing to the Yankees, but we made it past the wild card, baby. We made it past the wild card. I was impressed by the way they fought. I was impressed by the way this whole team played. You kind of just run out of steam at some point, and this team was kind of due. But what was your thoughts here on the Royals playoff run? Well, what was your feeling of it all, I guess, in the end, too?
I think at the end of the day, for me, they were overachievers. At the point when Vinny got injured, and we talked about all year long how the bullpen was just kind of below average.
Yes,
and they kind of stepped up to the plate to a certain extent in the playoffs. And the number one thing for me is that we were competitive in all of those Yankees games. And if we would have just been wiped off of the map, I would have thought a lot differently about this series. But the fact that we were competitive in all of those games made me feel a lot better. And I just think that we have a lot to build on here. The fact that we've got Bobby Witt Jr. locked up on that long-term deal makes me believe in the organization that, maybe the owner, John Sherman, is going to spend a little bit more money than we're accustomed to. Maybe he's going to take the fact that we have Bobby Witt Jr. for a long period of time and just say, hey, we've got to build on this. We're not going to be cheap, and we're gonna spend a little bit more money next year. We're going to get a little bit better relief pitching, and we're not going to waste. The worst thing you can do is waste Bobby Witt Jr.'s career. And so I feel like the Royals are going to be better next year. I feel like we overachieved this year. I feel like overall it was a success. If Vinny doesn't get injured, might have seen a little bit different outcome, but I think overall I'm happy with the result. And, I've got high hopes for them next year.
I do too. I think it's something you can build, continue success upon. Looking ahead here as we enter off season, here come mid-November, some player options out there is Waka, of course, with the player option there. Hunter Renfroe has a player option as well. Other player option is Chris Stratton, the relief pitcher. But we have a lot of UFAs. Will Smith, our relief pitcher there. By the way, first time in I think 3 years without him being in the World Series. So, good for, I guess, welcome back to normalcy, Will Smith. Michael Lorenzen, who we traded for, he's a UFA this year. Tommy Pham, of course, those guys. But there's something we need to do. I think we got to figure out how to get Lorenzen extended in this because I thought he was a great piece to this team, and I think he would be. He is 32, about to be 33 here soon. So I still think from a pitcher standpoint and relief-wise that he is, because that's what he was mainly used for in the beginning anyway. So I think we can get him back. I think Waka coming back. Hopefully he accepts his player option there. So I'd imagine he will. It's $16 million. So you'd probably accept it. So I don't know. There are some pieces. Royals Review, I follow them on Twitter, and they brought up something. They threw it out. I don't know why they throw it out, maybe just for the clicks, but they brought up Stanton. His contract, I think, is coming towards the end as well, and him being a deal, but Royals won't go out and pay a guy like that. Oh, I've never seen the Royals go out and pay a guy like that. Have you?
For Stanton, I mean,
for like a Stanton type
guy, he's been around for so long.
Yes.
I mean, he's entering the back end of his career, so I'm just kind of like, I'm thinking, yeah, you could do a deal like that, but I just don't know if the Royals are kind of at the same stage that Giancarlo Stanton is at. I mean, like the Royals are still kind of in their infancy in terms of, this Bobby Witt contract, and I don't know if it would match up to bring in a guy like Stanton, because I mean that guy's only going to get worse from here on. I mean, the guy gets injured, a lot. I mean, if I was going to go out and get a guy like Stanton, I would just be like, I don't want to spend a lot of money on him.
So we're looking here. If we went out and got him here, we're looking at 19. Looks like what? He has luxury tax on top of this. No, there's no way we're doing this. I don't know what they were looking at.
That reminds me of? That reminds me of when the Royals had Juan Gonzalez. Or what about this? Chili Davis. Ooh. It's kind of like we always made fun of the Chiefs when they bring in these retread 49ers quarterbacks. Yeah. That's what the Royals did with the guys like Juan Gonzalez and freaking Chili Davis. That's your freaking Giancarlo Stanton right now. Like, because he's on the back end of his career. I don't necessarily want to go down that road. I mean,
I don't either.
Bobby Witt is still like really, really young, so I want to build this team with a little bit more youth, I think.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking here what's out there for UFAs and a bunch of old guys, of course, as we look at it, but there's nobody I'm really oohing about right now that's out there. So we'll have to see what some releases happen. Willie Adames would be nice, but we don't need a shortstop.
What about Jose Canseco? Is he still available?
I don't see him on the UFA list, but I bet you we can make a call.
Because I think he finally got off the steroids, so maybe we could bring him in here.
I think he did, but no, there's nobody off the bat right now. They're looking down the list here, but look, I think the Royals in general had a great series, had a great playoff run for what their expectations were at the beginning of the season, and I think we can only capitalize from here. Like, we should have shown our owner Sherman that, hey, we can show up for the ballpark. We can be there. So, and we enjoy winning baseball here in Kansas City. So, yeah, man, it's sad to see it go, but it was fun while it lasted. So
it's the only time in history since the Royals have been in Kansas City that we have lost the divisional round.
It's true. It's
never happened before. So, yeah, something
always
different.
First.
And yeah, I mean, it's the Yankees, so it freaking pisses me off, but we're going to move on.
I mean, when you got a guy playing Babe Ruth playoff level baseball against you, it's tough to go, tough pitching. So, but yeah, so cool. Royals are wrapped up. Talking about him maybe February or March coming
would have been better if we would have signed Bobby Witt and Shohei Ohtani in the same year.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
That season might have ended up a little bit differently.
If there's a big signing during the offseason, of course we're going to talk about it here. Oh, there he is, my guy Tanner Scott's a UFA. I hope we go grab him. We probably won't, but I hope so.
Because his name is Tanner, right? So he's a fucking superstar now.
He's a superstar closer,
Okay.
man.
That
Superstar
makes
closer.
sense.
So, all right, we'll move on here, guys. We'll talk a little Chiefs right now. Before we get into the game, before we get in the matchup here, it's been a little bit since we talked last. Rashee Rice went out with injury. He is out for the year. We already got Hollywood Brown out. Juju came in. Right now, Clyde just got activated to the roster. He's off the NFI in that. But we have not made a trade. There's been a couple of trades out there. Devontae going from the Raiders to the Jets. Amari Cooper going from the Brownies to the Bills. And those are kind of the two big trades here. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are sitting with Juju, who's questionable right now. Sky Moore. Justin Watson. Guys, it's not pretty for the Chiefs here. We're not gonna hit the injury report just yet here, but I mean let's talk about this wide receiver room, Jason, before we get into it here. This has to be concerned. But what is Veach gonna give up? Veach has never been one to give up big draft picks. Never been to go out there and get the big guy like that. And I mean, there's options out there, right? But I don't think we're gonna get a true number one out of this trade deadline or trade deal anyways. But what's your thoughts around this?
I think my biggest concern right now is when you look at how good the Chiefs defense is right now, which is number 6 in the league. They're giving up 17 points per game.
Yeah.
Is there a world where Brett Veach can say, we're just going to let this thing play until the trade deadline, and we're not going to do shit right now?
I think so.
And you talked about the wide receiver room. I can't believe you actually said Sky Moore's name. I wasn't even going to say his name. I was just going to say the
I didn't
other
want
guys.
to say it, but it's out there.
But is there a world where we take that wide receiver room with Travis Kelce and Noah Gray and just say, you know what? We're undefeated right now, so why would we make a move? I mean, I know what the Buffalo Bills have done, so you see these other teams making moves, and you're like, okay, well, it's probably better to make a move sooner rather than later. But at the same time, like how aggressive do you want to get? I mean, I like guys like DeAndre Hopkins. I would love to bring a guy like that in, but at a certain point, does a guy like Brett Veach just kind of get cocky and say, well, we're we've won the last 2 Super Bowls in a row. Our defense is amazing right now. We're playing with house money.
Yeah.
We're undefeated. Why would I make a move right now? And I'm just kind of like, what are your thoughts on that, Tanner? Because I could kind of go either way on that. We're not going to see Rashee Rice for the rest of the year.
No.
We're not going to see Hollywood Brown.
No.
So this is kind of the group that you have to work with. And I think, for me personally, I'm going for the three-peat. I do not care about the fact that I'm 5-0, okay? So I'm going to take that record, and I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to pretend like I'm 500 right now.
Yeah.
And that's the way that I'm going to play this. And if I'm going for a Super Bowl three-peat, I'm playing for blood right now. And so I'm going to do whatever I can right now. I'm not going to wait until the trade deadline. But can you see a world in where Brett Veach would just kind of play this thing out for a while?
I think he makes another move that isn't a receiver for this team. I could see it. I don't see us making a move. I don't.
You've got talks out there that we're going to bring MVS back onto the practice squad.
Why not, right? That's the Andy Reid way. It's the Andy Reid way. He wants guys. That's why we brought Juju back on a cheap deal.
Yeah.
Because he knows the system. You don't have to get him all caught up. Why wouldn't they bring MVS back in the situation like this for depth? We're not looking at that. Like, if we make a move, it's going to be right at the trade deadline. Why? Because certain guys are cheaper actually at that point than they would be today.
Yeah.
So it's all about cost savings for them.
And I get it. And I agree with you on that. But even if we do wait until the trade deadline, I do not care about giving up the picks. I'm like the LA Rams at that point. I'm like, F them picks.
Get a guy.
And as we get closer to the trade deadline, I want to get whatever wide receivers I can get into this room. And I don't care about the picks because you're trying to make history here. We've never seen a 3-time Super Bowl champ with, 3 times in a row. We've had it back in the 1950s or 60s with the NFL championship. But when you're trying to make history, I'm not trying to mess around with this stuff. So we do have to make a deal. The question is when.
Yeah, and look, we brought in Jody Fortson instead of activating another receiver up, right? We signed Jody Fortson off the practice squad from Miami to start him last week. I agree. I get they're probably worried about it, but I don't think that they're over concerned about it. I don't think the Chiefs are over concerned about the receiver room right now. Otherwise, we would have saw probably a deal come through. So.
I think you want to see a loss, right? You just if I'm
4-0.
Brett Veach, if I'm Brett Veach,
or 5-0 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm 5-0. Like, okay, prove to me that you can lose a game, and then I might make a move.
Yeah,
prove to me that you can lose 2 games. And then I might make a move. But, until then.
There's no struggle. There's no struggle.
Until then, let's let it ride and see what
Mahomes
happens.
had 200 yards in the first half last game.
Yeah.
200 yards in the first half. No Rice, no Hollywood. You brought in Fortson to start him. I don't think the worry's there, man. I don't. And I know Mike is probably on his bed right now, like freaking yelling at us. But I don't think it's the worry. I don't think it's the ultimate concern of Brett Veach at the moment here. And I don't see us making a move. If we do, it's probably going to be like a Slayton or some kind of crap like that.
DeMarcus Robinson? What are your thoughts on him?
I think D-Rob's too valuable for the Rams that I don't think the Rams would give him up unless you give up like a third or fourth. I think the Rams you would have to overpay to get a D-Rob from the Rams right now.
I mean, his cap hit is like $2 million.
Correct. And if the injuries with Cooper and Puka, like Cooper's supposed to be back this week, but let's say if they go down, like Matthew Stafford has a trusted target, and that's D-Rob. I don't see the Rams giving up a D-Rob at all.
Okay.
At all. Which I would love, though. I would love to have actually a D-Rob over Sky Moore right now.
I'd like to have him, but again, it's not a guy that we're going to give up. We're not going to give up that match.
Though. We're not giving him picks.
So it's just kind of one of those things. Let's see what happens.
So that's kind of the dilemma, guys. Look, there's other than the wide receiver room, which, again, we won last year without wide receivers, essentially. So I'm not overly concerned.
My mentality is when you're undefeated, you have no dilemmas.
You have no dilemmas.
You don't have any dilemmas.
Go lose against the Niners this week. And then we can talk.
Yes,
and then
we'll have a conversation, which we're going to get to that later on our picks. But that could be, who knows what's going to happen with that game? It could be rigged,
right?
Like we always like to talk about on this show.
All right, let's get into the matchup here. Chiefs at Niners. All right, at Niners, yeah. And we're looking here at the injury report here. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like I mentioned earlier, was activated from the NFI. So he is a participant. He has been full practice since his activation. The only guy out right now is Dana. Dana is out with pectoral injury. He has not practiced at all, and he is officially ruled out for the Chiefs. Juju Smith-Schuster is questionable with a hammy. The only questionable, right? So you're telling me if Juju misses, you're going to have Justin Watson, Xavier Worthy, Mecole Hardman, Sky Moore, and Ross or Remigio come up? That's your wide receiver core, man. And if you don't lose that game against the Niners and that's your receiver core, Veach ain't making any trades, dude. He's not making no trades if you don't lose the Niners game.
So do you think we're throwing the game, or what are your thoughts on
No,
this?
I don't think we are. I think we're gonna beat them by a few touchdowns, dude. And we're gonna have it without Juju probably, and that's what it's gonna be. So it's just wild to me. We look at the Niners. It's an extensive list for the Niners for injury report, at least wise. Some big names out. Juwan Jennings is already out, the receiver there for them. Jake Moody. No Matthew Wright, their backup kicker, is also out with an injury as well. Some questionable guys. See, Debo's on the list, but Ricky Pearsall, the rookie from Florida, first-round pick.
Debo's playing.
Yeah, Debo's playing.
He's off the list.
He has a wrist injury, but he's been limited the last few days, full practice today. But Ricky Pearsall, guy that who got shot in the offseason, rookie first-rounder for the Niners from Florida, he's set to make his debut this weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs. So it'll be interesting to see how they work him out. Another big name, Jordan Mason, with a shoulder injury. We saw him go out, come back in for a play, and he ended up going out. So he's been limited all week, but he did have a great full practice today. So he should be in line to play as well from what we can tell. So and our old buddy Ward's full practice. So that's kind of your news right now. Questionable is mainly Pearsall, and he's scheduled to play. So kind of wild. No C-Mac still for this Niners team. TBA, probably not going to play this year, guys. It's not good. Might be retiring for all we know in this mix there. I guess what's our biggest watch area, Jason? What do you got for this game? Like, what do you want to talk about within the Niners Chiefs game?
Here's the thing, man. Like, I wanted to find a reason for the 49ers to win this game, right? Because these guys are sick and freaking tired of losing to the Chiefs. Like, they've dropped 2 Super Bowls to this team. This team has had their number for I don't know how long, and I'm sitting here trying to find. I want to pick the Niners, like I really do.
Yeah.
Like I'm never going to tell you that I want the Chiefs to lose because that's never going to happen. But I want them to fix their issues. It's just like the Niners. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. Deebo Samuel, yeah, I guess he's healthy, but we don't really necessarily believe that. I wish they would have made the Chiefs the favorite in this game. That's my only thing. If they would have done that, I think I would have picked the Niners. But the fact that the Niners are a 1.5 favorite, and now all of a sudden you're looking at a situation where the Chiefs are a dog against the 49ers makes no sense to me. Patrick Mahomes is off to a slow start. Okay, that's my narrative. Brock Purdy has more passing yards, more touchdowns, and a higher QBR than Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
What's the logical outcome of that story? I'm going with the Chiefs win here.
You have to.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs. But, yeah, I mean, it's just I want to find every reason to pick the Niners. I just can't do it, man.
Quite frankly, right now, the way we look at this game's preview here, overall, just because of the wide receiver room alone, Niners are a better team in a way.
Yeah,
they are the better team.
They're always the better team.
They are.
They are always the better
and
roster.
Guess what? I hope the Niners get it by 10 again. It's just so we can come back and win and let Mahomes
go up by 10 at halftime.
That's all I want. I want the Niners to go up. I'd say by 10 and let Mahomes just do his magic, man. That's all I want to see.
Oh, man.
Look, we're coming off a bye. Andy Reid off a bye is insane. His record's just impeccable. And you've had 2 weeks to plan for this game. I don't care if Ricky Pearsall is playing or not. I don't care if C-Mac's playing or not. I love the Chiefs in this one. I love the defense going at it here. And there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Felix and Karlaftis to try to get their sack finally. Or they got a sack. I guess try to show that they can be tough edges because I've always questioned those guys, and it's a bunch of tryhards. I think Mike said that one time. It's a bunch of tryhards, and that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, and the whole thing about Andy Reid only having 4 losses career, after a bye, eventually he is going to lose another game.
Yeah.
After a bye. It's going to happen, but it's probably not going to happen in this game. So, I'm not buying it here. I mean, the 49ers are not playing with a full dick. And that's the bottom line here. If they were 100% healthy, I would give you a different perspective on that, but they're not.
I mean, if you had a C-Mac in there, this is a whole. I mean, it wouldn't be -2. They would be probably -5 at this point.
And the other thing is like, I'm a Brock Purdy guy. Like, I know a lot of people out there are just like, yeah, he's not the real deal or what have you. I'm a Brock Purdy guy, and he is what he is. Like, I would say that he is an elite quarterback, and a lot of people don't want to go out on a leap and say that. I do think he is an elite quarterback, but without a full roster in this game, I just don't see a way for you to beat the Chiefs, unless it's rigged, which I think it's going to take a lot for that to happen. But crazier things have happened, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, you said about the Chiefs being the 6th best against points per game for opponents here, and we'll get San Francisco right now, and where were they? Where did you say they were? Because they were. Oh, there it is, 12th, 21.7 points per game.
Oh, the Niners defense.
Niners, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're middle of the pack.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're not doing anything special this year. So,
I mean, yeah, it's just wild. I don't think they're as great as they are, or they once were, but I don't know. It's gonna be a good game, guys. Once again, that line is +2 right now for spread, +108 your best bet on FanDuel for money line for the Chiefs, and over/unders at 47.5.
The other thing too is you look at the motivation. I mean, look at how many times the Buffalo Bills have beaten the Chiefs in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up bending over.
Yeah.
So what's the incentive for the Niners to go out and try to win this game? Oh, well, good for you, man.
Confidence.
You won a regular season game against the Chiefs. Now what's going to happen in the Super Bowl if you play them again? There's just no incentive.
No.
There's no.
It's not do or die.
I don't
It's not the
understand
end.
why they would have passion behind
It's not
this
the
game.
trophy.
Because it's just, they're playing for peanuts here, essentially, because there's no reward at the end of the day. I mean, you kind of need the win because the 49ers don't have a very good record right now. Aren't they 500 or something like that?
Yeah, they've blown a lot of leads.
But even if you go to 3 and 4 in the NFC, I mean, you still know the 49ers are going to be there at the end. So there's really not a whole lot of incentive for the 49ers to take this game that seriously.
And they will, though, just like the Bills. They're going to put this thing on a pedestal and raise their flag and all this stuff. So, but no, I think the Chiefs win, like you said. I have no doubt in this here, and I'll coming off a bye here. It's just I think the biggest key to this part here. So, but yeah, any prediction on score?
Yeah, I'll throw it out there. I'm just going to go. I got to keep it low with that Chiefs defense, so I'm going to go 21-17 Chiefs. I got to keep it low with these guys because I do believe in that defense.
I'm keeping it low as well, but I think I'm going more of the 24-21 ball game.
Okay.
So it's still under that 47.5. So, which is -115 on FanDuel actually right now. So, which is wild, but yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. There's your Chiefs preview for this week against the Niners as we tag along. So, hey, we're making good time, Jason. Let's bring it in, man. Let's talk about it.
Stay tuned. If you think we're making good time right now,
this is about
stay tuned, bro.
This either
about to go off the rails as usual.
I think we got one more thing to go off the rails before you go off the rails on this one. But let's talk about Tom Brady, guys. Tom Brady is now the minority as an ownership stake in Las Vegas Raiders, which was finally approved this past week here. But due to his job, with the announcing and all this stuff, he's now has limited himself to be able to do parts of his job for research. So some items that he is prohibited to do is he's prohibited from entering another team's facility. He's prohibited from attending another team's practice. He's prohibited from in-person or virtual broadcast production meetings with coaches or players. He's prohibited of publicly criticizing officiating or on other NFL teams. And he must follow the NFL's gambling policy, and he must follow the NFL's anti-tampering policies with limited communication with members of other clubs to strictly social interactions. So, what's your take on this? Is this guy a genius? Is Tom Brady a genius, or is this guy a complete nutcase?
I don't really think he cares. I think he's got a job to do as a Fox analyst. But more importantly, as an NFL team owner, he's not allowed to. One of the first things you said was he's not allowed to attend another team's practice, which is basically the same thing as you're not allowed to do Spygate.
Correct.
Which is the thing that the Patriots, when he was playing for the Patriots, they've already done that. So it's like, I don't really think it's a situation where you need to educate Tom Brady on how to not spy on other teams. I think it's kind of baked into the cake thing. And the same thing with, he's not allowed to break the rules. And so Tom Brady has a full career of being a part of an offense, running an offense that's like a video game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And he's also got to be a rule follower, and he knows the NFL has a history of crushing him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they crushed him in Deflategate, and the NFL got tired of him winning all of those championships. And it's kind of one of those things where he knows the NFL is not going to be friendly to him if he fucks up. And so he's not a guy that's going to break rules at this stage of his career. So he's got the contract, right, for Fox NFL analyst, and he's got his role as an NFL owner. He's not going to break any rules. That's not who he is.
Correct.
Okay? He's not a guy that is going to go out there and make mistakes. Sure, yeah, as a quarterback, he might have made a mistake out of every, one mistake out of every 50 plays or what have you. but it's not going to happen anymore. So I think this whole thing is kind of blown out of proportion, because if you're an NFL owner and at the same time you're a Fox NFL analyst, you're in a different stratosphere. And oh, by the way, you're the greatest quarterback in the history of the game. So now all of a sudden you're kind of an ambassador, and you have to, get all of your ducks in a row, and you're not going to make any mistakes no matter what you do. So I feel like there's no conflict of interest here.
He's open to fines now from the NFL, right? If he says something wrong about officiating, if he says something about, any kind of bit small deal, he's open to fines because
do you really think he cares about a fine?
No.
Yeah, I mean, do you not think that he's got enough money to pay for a fine?
But how interesting is this whole deal, though, right? He signs the deal with Fox, 10 years for whatever it is, like insane money, and he turns around. He knows he's in the middle of doing this broadcasting stuff.
I don't
and
think
he knows
it matters, man.
He's a freaking genius. He takes that money, and he goes buys ownership stake, and now he can't do 50%, 60% of his job.
If the dude wants to get a fine one time,
I ain't worried about the fines.
In the next 5 years, if he wants to get a fine, do you not think that he's going to make it worth it?
He's going to get a fine this year.
He's going to make it worth it.
He's going to.
I don't care.
I love it, but it's fine. But I'm just saying, like the genius part of this, it's like I feel like it's almost one of the biggest FUs the media ever, because he knows where he's at. He's in this role, a 10-year deal. He kicked Greg Olson out of the role, and instead he bought ownership. He's prohibited to do half the things he needs to do during the week for research, and he gets to go on TV and keep all his money.
But the other thing I look
genius.
The other thing I look at is his mentality, and the fact that how many people, me included, I talk shit. I talk shit on the guy after week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, he made some mistakes in his first outing. Do you not think that he's like keeping receipts for that and going to try to make himself
and now he's
better?
going to do it with 70% less research? In-person research?
The guy actually wants to get better. It's not about what Tanner or JG or Mike Settle or anybody else. It's not about what we say about him. I don't think we're
concerned with that, though.
If people insult him and say, "Oh, you were trash when you first started your broadcasting career," he does not care, bro. He's out there trying to get better every single week, the same exact way that he did when he was in the NFL as a quarterback. He doesn't care what anybody says, and he will get better. And he's going to get better at kind of working his way through this balance of being an NFL owner at the same time as he is a broadcaster. So, like, he's going to crush it no matter what you say, no matter what I say or anybody else. He's going to crush this opportunity.
I think so.
Just the way that he crushed his NFL career.
I just think it's funny that half of its job is now prohibited. So I just think it's funny.
It's funny. Yeah, it's fine. But it's a good thing for the media to talk. All those idiots out there.
Oh,
they go, oh my gosh,
they eat it up.
Tom Brady sucks as a broadcaster. He's gonna figure out a way to screw up. That's what makes it fun for me.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. So I don't know. Just wanted to bring that up, guys, for everybody. I do got one more kind of fun topic here, so I'll bring it up here on the screen for all the viewers to see here. But if you guys know what I'm talking about here, there's a guy named Greg on Twitter. Greg with a bunch of numbers after it. He's been on Stephen A. He's been on Pat McAfee with the same question. He's been posting. These guys answered this question here, okay? And it's a simple question. He's asked for more than just these few guys, too.
And I don't know what it is. Like, this is...
Yeah, Jason has no idea what I'm about to ask.
I'm a deer in the headlights, bro, right now. So follow me.
What you see on screen here is what I'm going to ask Jason here. We're going to get his advice as well from it. So Jason, Greg needs to know, if you're at a friend's house and clog the toilet and there's no plunger, what do you do?
What did I clog it with? Was it...
it doesn't state. This is just a simple question
because if I clogged it with toilet paper, I could care less. I'm just going home.
I'm assuming there's feces involved.
You're going to assume there's feces involved.
I'm assuming there's some. Like, what would you do in that situation?
There's no plunger.
No plunger. If you're at a friend's house and clog the toilet and there's no plunger, what do you do?
So the first thing that I would do is I'm going to create a diversion. Okay? So I'm going to assume that this is a house party, all right? I'm just throwing out a random hype. This is a random hypothetical. So we've got a house party. there's maybe like 6 or 8 people at the house. I've just clogged up the toilet, whether it's feces or toilet paper, I don't care. I'm going to create a diversion. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go out on the patio. I'm going to take some toilet paper and I'm going to set it on fire. Okay?
Jesus.
So, and it's not going to cause any damage, okay? Because we're not, I wouldn't do this in California, okay? Let me be clear. Okay? Now my Kamala Harris is coming out right now, okay? Let me be clear. I'm going to make sure we're not in California where there's a fire hazard, okay? We're going to do this in a high humidity area where we're not going to cause any house fires. I'm going to go out on the patio. So we're going to assume that we're on a lower level, okay? Because if we're on a high level apartment, we've got probably a wooden freaking deck out there, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that we're on the lower level and there's a cement patio, okay? I'm going to light some toilet paper on fire and create a diversion. And I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to point to whoever my friend is, whoever's at the house, and say, hey, your patio's on fire, bro. And I'm going to light the fire. The toilet paper's on fire and the cement. There's 0% chance of any damage because I know this because it's on a cement deck, okay? And I'm going to light that toilet paper on fire, and everybody's going to go out to the patio and try to extinguish. Maybe they might get out the you just unplugged me, by the way. Somebody might get out the fire extinguisher and try to put that fire out that's on the patio. I'm still out. And what I'm going to do when everybody walks outside, okay? Everybody walks outside and they're trying to put this, they're looking at the fire, they're trying to figure out how to put it out or getting the fire extinguisher or what have you. I don't give a shit. I'm hightailing it out of there, okay? And most likely, when I do this, everybody's going to be hammered anyway. They're not going to remember what happened from the night before. And I'm going to walk out of that motherfucker and I'm going to drive home. Everybody was hammered. They're not going to remember. They're certainly not going to remember who clogged up the toilet. They're going to, the only thing they're going to remember is, oh yeah, I think somebody caught your patio on fire and I don't know what happened before that. So the whole idea, guys, with everything in life, if you do something that you're not really happy about and you're embarrassed about, try to create a diversion, whether it be left or right. Try to create a diversion, and then you can just walk out of the whole situation and nothing ever happened. You can create a situation where nothing ever happened. So that's my twist in mentality, but that might actually help you guys. That it kind of lets you into kind of my messed up reality that I have in my mind, but that's kind of how I've lived my whole life, is just like create a diversion, and then nobody's going to be focused on what the freak you did to clog up that freaking toilet. So that's actually, you guys could probably ask Chat GPT and they would not give you that good of an answer.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty phenomenal, dude. I knew you'd give us a good answer. There's a bunch that said they would jump out the window. There's a bunch that said they would sneak out the window, move to a different city, and start a new life. Jump out the bathroom window and knock on the front door acting like you just arrived. That's a good one. I can see you doing that. If you haven't been there, walk out and tell the friend someone clogged his toilet and it's extra gross and you should do better. So blame it on someone else.
That's kind of I like that one. I do like that. That's almost on the same level of what I just gave you. Like, that's pretty close.
That's
man.
pretty
like
damn
that
close. Oh my gosh, that's pretty awesome. No, there's some good ones there, but I had to get your answer around it. Let's see here. Starsky says, now I know why I had all those patio fires at his parties.
Well, it never got to that level. I mean, Starsky is just a super nice guy, and To be honest with you, I never clogged up his toilet, so it never came up.
Yeah, it was good stuff. I had to ask you that one because I've seen it on Pat. I saw it on Stephen A. And I can show you those answers later. But I just thought it was some of the funny stuff that they actually went out and
I gave that the answer that I gave was very simple.
It was.
It's extremely simple,
Diversion.
but it's also extremely effective.
I saw there was one guy, I can't remember who it was, but what he said was, take your hand. Oh no, it's JJ Watt. That's his answer to JJ Watt. He said, take your hand in your arm, unclog it yourself.
Ooh.
All right, unclog it yourself, wash your hand off, and then go shake everybody's hand afterwards.
No, I'm too hammered for that. I'm not going down that road. I'm too hammered for that.
So that was one answer. But I'll show you the others later. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments what you would do in this situation. If you guys were, Jesus, if you guys were at a friend's house and clogged the toilet, and there's no plunger, what do you guys do in the situation? So would greatly appreciate you guys' comments in that. So, oh man, that was too good. All right, I think it's time, Jason. I think it's time.
It's time for crypto.
Not crypto. I know.
No,
I know you're always working on it.
I don't want to leave that for the end, bro.
I mean, you can do whatever. You got some advice on crypto you want to talk about right now before we get to the end?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it. What do you got?
Yeah, you have to talk about crypto, guys, because nobody really cares about cryptocurrency, and that's the whole point. That's the whole reason why I want to talk to you about crypto is because it's really cheap right now. And so a lot of people out there don't really understand crypto. They don't know what to buy. So I am going to give you, we're getting ready to go into what, Tanner? Easy Money Bet segment right after this.
Segment. Yep.
So before we go into the Easy Money Bet segment, I want to talk about easy crypto bets that I want to make, because when you're investing in crypto, all you're doing is making a bet. And so I've got a lot of things going on right now on my crypto account. Want to talk to you about Polkadot right now. Okay, I'm just looking at the chart right now. Very simple. The all-time high of Polkadot is $55.13, and we've never done this before on the show, but I'm going to do it right now. So I've been loading up on crypto right now because it's super cheap. It's probably going to explode when you get into March, April, May, and June of next year. Not going to give you any advice. I'm just telling you exactly what the freak I'm doing right now. I'm going to buy some Polkadot live on this show. So the live price right now is $4.42. All-time high is $55. I'm going to add to my position right now. I'm just going to do like $200, Tanner.
$200?
Yep.
Okay.
So, if we can go from $4.41 to the all-time high in 6 months of $55, I mean, that's more than a 10x.
More than 10x.
So
yes.
You guys might want to put $1,000 into that shit. I don't really care what you put in there. I'm going to do $200, and we're going to do it live on the show.
Look at this live crypto trading right now.
Just so I can show you guys.
Right now.
Just so I can show you guys, I put my money where my mouth is,
That's
which
what she
is
said.
not. Sometimes I put my money where my mouth is in sports betting. But more often than not, I do it in crypto. So there we go. We just did it. Polkadot, $200. There's a lot of haters on Polkadot. But I just put another $200 in, guys. Did it live for you. So go check out some crypto one of these days. It might make you a little bit of money.
Love it, dude. Love it. I'm looking here. They got a first down. Okay. Sorry, we're getting into easy money bet. I got one bet out there tonight. I wanted to play tonight, but it's fine. It's a Friday night. We got more bets coming in for tomorrow and Sunday. So we're going to get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Our favorite segment is the easy money bet.
Easy money bet of the week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's recap here. Last time we all met was back on the 25th of September here, and we did okay. Jason got his first dub.
Wow.
First dub.
How about that, bro?
Pretty sure I got a
unbelievable.
I do. Let's go.
Unbelievable. Now give me the Tourette's guy.
Oh, you want the Tourette's guy one?
$500 on the bullshit.
Exactly.
There you go. So Jason with the Ravens -2 on that weekend. Got the dub. Loved it. Loved that pick. Mike, on the other hand, two losses in back to back. He went on that Georgia-Alabama game under 48.5 and ended up being a big high-scoring game there. And then he also had the Steelers-Colts under 40. Also exceeded that amount. So rough day on totals. By the way, JG is now 1-5-1. Mike is now 3-3. And then myself, I had Tulane -6.5. We got that dub. Liberty at -3.5. That game ended up being canceled due to the hurricane, so there was no game. The Panthers +4, they shit the bed. So those are my main 3 bets there. Puts me at 6-5 for the year so far. And then my side bets that we started, because Mike complained, because no shocker there. But Army -12.5 hit. SMU -5.5 hit. Went 2-0 on my side bet. So, but as a Buffoon group, we are now 10-13-1. We're at a 43.48% winning percentage. So we got a big week ahead of us here, big weekend ahead of us. I liked a lot of lines again, so I will have a couple side bets for you guys out there. So, but let's get into it. JG, what do you have for the easy money bets this week?
It's very interesting that you put me at 1-5 for the season for easy money bets. You know why? Because I'm also 1-5 on my freaking fantasy league. But what happens after that, ladies and gentlemen? We know what comes after that. There's only one way to go, and that's up, and we call that positive regression. So I'm going to get it right with crypto today, and I'm also going to get it right with my easy money bet of the week. So I'm not a big fan of a lot of these games, actually, outside of the Chiefs. I feel really confident in the Chiefs for whatever reason. But I'm looking at that Pats at Jaguars game. And the reason why I'm looking at that game is because the Patriots are really not as bad as people think they are.
Jake May's there now, too.
And the Jaguars, they're not 6 points better than the Patriots. I don't really think a lot of people think that the Jags are that good this year, because they're not. And so that 6 points, it's kind of weird to me. It's almost like the game is destined to be rigged.
I think the only reason it's 6 points for Jaguars is because it's a home game in London, and they've been there for 2 weeks now.
That's fine, but
I think that's the only thing.
It's almost like it's one of those games that's destined to be rigged. So I think the Patriots are probably going to win the game, because I don't trust anything that happens in London, let alone football. So I'm going to take the Pats +6 here. That's my easy money bet of the week.
I like the Pats +6. You know, Jake May looked good last week after he got kind of comfortable and worked himself in. So, and by the way, the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off a 30-point allowed points to Caleb Williams. And
I think it's a staged. You're going to see a staged game here. Let me tell you what's going to happen.
What do you got?
The Jags are going to win this game, right? Because they're the home team, because they're the London Jaguars or whatever, and they're going to win it by freaking 2 points. Okay? That's what's going to happen. They're going to win it by a field goal at the end by 2 points, but the Patriots are going to cover. That's what's going to happen.
I don't mind it. So is that your only bet for this week here? Once again, going to one better?
When you're 1-5, you should probably just go one and done.
All right, so Pats +6 for Jason. Mike, on the other hand, sending his stuff in. No college football for him. I think he's leaving that to the professionals now. So Lions +1.5 for Mike. I love that pick because I am a Lions guy as well this weekend. I think they will win it. And then the Eagles -3.5, which I thought was kind of an interesting pick there, considering the Eagles have not looked the best. They are going against the Giants in New York this week here. So Neighbors is due back as well. Malik Neighbors, who gets all the targets, it seems like, for that team. So, but yeah, he's got Eagles -3.5. He must have really confidence in Hurts and A.J. Brown getting together in the second game back together with Devontae Smith, Saquon as well. So I don't mind it, Mike. I don't mind. I guess the Eagles one's the only one I have a problem with. But you know what? It's your money, easy money bet. And if you got confidence, let's roll, man. Let's roll at it. So looking here. All right, we'll get out of this game for a minute here. I am, just so everybody's aware here, I am soon to be 2-1 for the week already in my college bets here. Let me pull up my Substack. By the way, you can follow me on Substack, tan12489 at 110 at tan12489. I'm going to start dropping all my weekly bets there. So, but let's get into it here. Easy money bets here. I'm going to give you 3 college, 1 NFL, and then I'll give you 2. I'll give you some side bets as well. So let's look at it for tomorrow. We won't do today. So let's look at it tomorrow here. One thing I do love here. I got to pull it up. Sorry, Jason. I've still on NFL for this here. Let's pop into it. Auburn and Missouri Tigers. Look, I'm not a big Missouri guy, but Auburn is bad. They're really bad, like really bad. The line has gone down to -4 now, so we will take it there. We're going to go Tigers -4 tomorrow on that slate. For that, I'm just trying to update my lines for everybody here so they can be confident in what they bet. We're going to also pop down to that went up. We won't go that one for you, even though it's probably that's going to be an easy win there. We're going to go East Carolina Pirates and Army Black Knights. Army is going to win this game, -16.5. I'm good with -16.5 for Army for an easy money bet there. This is, Army and Navy right now are just insane, and they might play twice in the end of the year this year. We'll pop into a later game for you guys. I really want to go KU here because it's -5.5, but we won't make that an easy money bet. They screwed us once. We're going to do it again. James Madison's facing their other half of Jordan Southern. We won't go James Madison this week either. I'm going to try to keep, like I said, 100% confidence for you guys in these matchups here for this weekend here. I think my big one here, gosh, man, I want to go with those guys. We're gonna hit it here. We're gonna go UNLV -6.5 over Oregon State. That's gonna be our other easy money bet for you guys here on the college ranks. So those are the 3 locks: Tigers -4, Army -16.5, UNLV -6.5, and then we're gonna go to the NFL ranks here. Now Jason talked about the Chiefs already. I like the Chiefs here. I love that money line, but I'm not gonna go that way. Steelers. I actually think the Steelers will win against the Jets, but we won't go that route either. What I really like here is Panthers, Commanders, and quite frankly, -8.5 it's a shame. It's such a low spread there. So we're going Washington -8.5 over Carolina at Washington this week for our NFL bets there. We'll throw some side bets for you. We're going to throw in KU -6.5 on the side bets. We're going to throw in Navy -16.5 for you. We're going to throw in Tulane. I think that might have come down, but we're going to go -21.5, and James Madison at -10. We're going to throw in those 4 side bets as well. We're going to keep things going. I got more in my Substack. Go check it out at tan12489. But that's what we're about. By the way, Starsky, thank you for the compliment. Tanner is killing the bets this year. I appreciate Starsky for that. So, but that's what we got, ladies and gentlemen. Easy money bet. Jason S. Pats +6. Looking for another win. That's going to be called a win streak when you get that second win this week. Mike with the Lions +1.5, Eagles -3.5. I have the easy money bets of Tigers -4, Army -16.5, UNLV -6.5, and Washington Commanders at -8.5. And then my side bets are going to be KU -5, 6.5, Navy -16.5, Tulane -21.5, and James Madison -10. So that's it. That's this weekend.
Tanner, I want to have a quick conversation with you.
Oh, what do you got?
Because Mike's not here.
Yeah.
So do you know what's legal right now when Mike's not here? We got to talk about the NBA.
It's 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks away.
We're going to talk about the NBA.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't care about I care about him, but when he's not here,
we got
I don't
7
care
minutes,
about
man.
I don't care about the fact that he hates the NBA, okay?
We got 7 minutes. Let's talk.
Just do a quick rundown, okay? Here are the odds for next year's winner of the NBA championship. I've got the Boston Celtics +310.
Okay.
Oklahoma City Thunder, number 2, +650. New York Knicks +750. Philadelphia +1,000. Timberwolves +1,000. And Denver Nuggets +1,100.
Ooh.
I'm not even gonna. Okay, yeah. I better say the Mavericks or Troy's gonna get.
Troy's gonna get so mad if you don't.
So the Mavericks are +1,100. So, who do you have, Tanner, as your favorite for the NBA championship based on that list that I just gave you?
I mean, honestly, it's gonna have to still be the Celtics in this list here. I like Denver. I think Denver's a close second for me, but I think Boston's still loaded up. They still got this. I mean, I think almost all the same guys essentially, right? They didn't really lose anybody to free agency or the offseason. So I like Boston. I like Boston in this mess here. Kind of unfortunately for what I want to see, but I think they're the best.
I think for me, if I want to make some money, I'm going Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, they're plus 650, but they also have all of my favorite players on that team. I mean, they've got SGA, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams. Dude, this is like the remix of Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden. This is the remix.
It's better? Think it's better?
I don't know if it's better. I think it's at least the same.
Okay.
Because Jalen Williams is a stud that nobody's ever heard his name. So Jalen Williams is kind of like the James Harden, and Chet Holmgren would be kind of like the equivalent of a Russell Westbrook, whereas SGA is basically like the leader of the team right now in Kevin Durant. But they've got Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yes. But he's hurt right now, right?
No. I mean, it's not like a significant injury.
It wasn't big.
So I mean, those guys, dude. What the guy has done there, the general manager of the Thunder. I mean, the guy's been there.
Fractured left hand. That's what it is. So 5-6 weeks.
Okay. So, but the general manager of OKC, dude, he's been there.
Yeah.
Since Harden, since Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, the guy's been there the whole time. And the way that he's building this team is just insane. And I think you're going to see specifically Jalen Williams take the next step forward this year. And he's going to blow a lot of people away. So I'm going to take the Thunder at plus 650 to win the championship.
Okay. I don't mind it at all, man. What I guess sticking with the NBA for a couple more minutes here. Just your thoughts here. Kawhi Leonard looking to miss the first half of the season once again in the world. I mean, it's time to hit it up. It's time to say, hey, buddy, think about the rest of your life and not NBA basketball anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's made a lot of money.
Yeah, yes.
So
and he still gets all of it, right? Because even though he's injured,
yeah. I mean, I'm happy that he came through for my team, the San Antonio Spurs, and he delivered a championship back in 2014. And
yes,
he wasn't able to deliver any championships for the Clippers, but he got a championship for the Raptors. It's like he's a 2-time NBA champ, and it's kind of one of those things where, yeah, I don't think he should hang it up, but I think, there's a difference between hanging it up and not trying to win a championship. And I think that, he's never going to be the best player on a championship team for the rest of his career. So that's the bottom line there for him.
What about the Paul George injury? What do you think impact that brings for the Sixers?
Yeah, I mean, right now the Sixers are plus 1,000. My gosh,
and that's SMB coming out saying he's never going to play a back-to-back game ever.
What I think the Sixers need to do is blow it up right now.
It does,
because you have a guy right now in Tyrese Maxey who you should be trying to build around. Like he's the big piece for the future, whereas guys like Paul George and Joel Embiid, it hurts me to say it as a KU fan, those guys are has-beens, okay? Joel Embiid, they were not able to get him enough help. And for me, on Joel Embiid winning a championship, it's too little, too late. It's just not going to happen. I mean, Paul George is at the end. Joel Embiid is not quite at the end, but he's probably 3 to 4 years away from the end. And it's just like, dude, you got to get some assets and build around Tyrese Maxey, because I'm a huge Tyrese Maxey fan, and you've got to blow this thing up sooner rather than later and try to get as many assets as you can.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the Philadelphia 76ers are what you've seen today with the Eagles and the Phillies.
And I feel
Eagles
so
bad.
Phillies. I feel so bad as a basketball fan for the Sixers fans, because they went through the whole thing with Ben Simmons. And if they didn't have to deal with the whole Ben Simmons drama, this whole thing might have turned out a lot differently. But you had to figure out a way to get rid of Ben Simmons. You drafted Ben Simmons. You paid Ben Simmons money. And it's just like that's kind of the wrench that got thrown into the mix that screwed everything up. But I feel so bad for the Sixers fans because, they had to deal with that whole thing. And, they were kind of on the verge. I think at one point that the biggest mistake that they made actually was not drafting Ben Simmons. The biggest mistake they made was getting rid of Jimmy Buckets. If they would have kept him a little bit longer, this whole thing, I mean, just imagine. You guys all know what Jimmy Butler brings to the table. If you could have had him a little bit longer on the same team with the Joel Embiid and bring in Tyrese Maxey a little bit later, I mean, my gosh, that we all know
now
that
you're different. Now you're different.
That would have turned out so much. I mean, they would have a championship by now. I mean, we all know that. I mean, you can't try to short sell Jimmy Buckets to me right now, although he's another guy that's also on the tail end of his career, but he was in his prime during that whole run. I mean, they should have kept him, but I just feel bad for the Sixers fans because it just didn't work out, man. But they were competitive for a long period of time, if nothing else.
Right. Yeah, no. I'm with you here. We'll have a little bit more NBA conversation if we get the time allowance next week there when Mike's back. So, but yeah. So.
Mike loves the NBA, dude. I was bullshitting earlier.
He loves the NBA, man.
I tried to convince the public that he hates the NBA. He actually loves it.
He's so excited for it next week too. I mean, he was all ready to go, man.
And I can't wait to talk about the Phoenix Suns the next time he comes back. That's my favorite thing to talk about is the Suns.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at that point here. So I appreciate everybody joining us here. GG, myself here. Mike, hope your athlete's foot gets better or whatever's wrong with you. I don't know what's wrong with you. What do you think's wrong with Mike? What was your diagnosis?
I think my diagnosis was that he's holding on to too much Dogecoin.
That's very true.
But I know he's going to get rid of it soon. So
there we go.
It's going to end up okay.
Hope you get rid of your Dogecoin, Mike, and get back here. So, but there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow. Make sure you guys leave a comment there. And JG, I think we're out of here.
See you guys on the next one. Outro.
See you guys.